Welcome back to Music Scoop. I'm Kyle Gates.
And I'm excited. I'm Kelly Ripa, and right now we've got the original hard rock sex symbol, Mr. David Lee Roth.
How you doing?
Hey, doing good, Kyle. Good to see you.
The album is Your Filthy Little Mouth.
Well, your filthy little mouth is liable to cause you to use your filthy little imagination, because it's not the exact obvious translation. You know, a lot of what I see on the news programs, perhaps, that strikes me as a little bit filthy, what some of our politicians send to us. You know, it's a negative. But here in New York City's filthy, and I love her. I don't want her to change a little bit.
You moved to New York from L.A. to do this album.
Yeah, I cut my hair and move into my artist in a loft phase, and no, it's not a loft, and, you know, I don't really paint, but the idea is, when you say artist in a loft, when you add that into New York, it's the idea that you don't have to just make music. It's the idea that you can, think of what Warhol did in the 60s. You can paint, you can write, you can do film. For us, it's video, the album cover, what happens in stagecraft, and on. So,
well, Kyle and I weren't alive in the 60s, but that's okay anyway.
But you can read.
No, I can't. Anyway, and I'm very touchy about it. Anyway, I have a question about She's My Machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you hear from, like, the women's movements or any organizations, any pro-women organizations? Now, you claim it's about a car, a love affair with a car, right?
Since when has a car been just about a car? Of course there's a little sexual tension in there. What, do you expect me to retreat in a back straight line? No way, woman. Nobody's ever given me any trouble with that. I've never had any problems from a women's group or a feminist group or anything like that, because I think that essentially when you watch my pictures on the screen, you know that I see it purely as a sharing experience.
Now, they tell me...
That's a great answer. I'm sorry. That's a great answer.
They tell me that you're stripping down your image. You know, you've kind of toned it down a little. No more striped tights, and you know, no more bungee jumping for you. What's that all about? I mean, where'd that come from?
It's 1994. 1980s was a big time. It was a colorful time. We had some expendable cash. We actually had an economy, remember? And we had big cars to put the cash in, you know, spend it on the gasoline, and go to the big show.
I had a paper route in the 80s.
Okay. Well, then you read about it, too. It was great. It was a great time to be alive. And that was very big and large. It was the big production. 94, I just go from what I want as an audience member. And what I want to see when I go to a live show or when I watch pop music on the TV set or something is something of some substance, something of real musicality. And the acid test for that is to say to yourself, would I still be sitting out here if I was blind? Now, I ask myself the same question when I go on a first date with a woman. I know to do that because had I asked myself that, I would have skipped my last 2 relationships entirely.
Ooh, I like it.
We'll leave them nameless.
Okay, I want to know a couple more things. Can you still do splits and straddles and stuff? Just for all the women of America out there who want to know.
It's supposed to look like it sounds. Sometimes that music is explosive. Sometimes that music is very solemn and very direct. But yeah, if you can make it look like it sounds, sure. And sometimes my music does the splits. I do too.
Oh,
great.
Thank God.
Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Our Street Beat correspondent, Kevin Seal, recently had a brush with, well, people who work a lot with famous people.
Kind of like working with me and Dave here.